Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we're going to show you how. Now, let's get started.
This episode is powered by Poddex.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are now listening to That Will Never Work podcast with your host, Maurice Chisholm.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in today. So, we are back on talking about time, addressing your goals, things like that. So here's the question. As you have examined whether or not you have the time and how you manage your time, and you're saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I didn't manage it well. And that's fine, right? There's always time to still get to your ultimate goal. Now, the next part of that question about time is, do you have time to dedicate to that, to your objective? So as I had taken the time and sat down and really gauged whether or not how much time I had for school, as I said, I regained time, with my kids being in college themselves, and regaining time for me personally. But one of the things I did not take in consideration when I started my first class of how much time it would take for class. I was a little taken back because I had not been in school for quite a few years. So I was not aware of how much time was really needed for school. Even though I was motivated, I had logged into my what they call Canvas and paid attention to the class, the syllabus. It opened up a little early, like maybe a week and a half early. And so I started working on some of my projects and things like that was due. One, because some stuff was due before class, and it was a lot more than I had anticipated that was due before class started. There was also a point where I was looking at the syllabus and realized that not only all this work is due before class, but a lot of work was due during class, after class has started. And I started to look at my own personal time to say, hey, how does this go with my ultimate goals? Being, even though I am an entrepreneur, have my own set hours, things like that. But how am I going to do the two based off of what is required from school? And then when I had a set of, I had one class that was what they call early term. And then I had, then now it's the fall season where I had enrolled into 5 classes. And I'm looking to say, hey, do I really have time to still reach my ultimate goals? Whether it's from a financial perspective, whether it is educationally, no matter the situation, do I have time to put all of that together? So one of the things that I've learned as I have been in class is that our professors have been telling us to be how to be proactive, how to manage time. It's also helped me to encourage my own children and how they're managing their time, not to take on too many projects at once, to be proactive, to if you are not prepared for a test, how what type of learner you are, things like that. It really had put me in a perspective of managing my time to get homework and classwork done, because I'm not actually in the classroom as much as I am in a online schedule where things are synchronous and asynchronous. And synchronous being that we do have a scheduled time via Zoom for the face to face. So even with that hour and a half class via Zoom, well, one was hour and a half, one is 45 minutes. And then, so you have that, and then you have to take the time to study, take your quizzes and or tests, doing the homework. How much time does that take from your daytime job, your other ambitions that you have? Some people can do that, and it is rather easy for them. And there's some people that's a little harder. So what are you today? Are you taking the time to look at the process of whatever your goals are? How much time that takes? You have multiple sets of goals. Most people do. Most people have, hey, I want to go to school. I want to become a millionaire, quote unquote. I want to raise my kids. I want to get married. I want to do all these things. What does it take from a time management perspective to reach that and to maintain it? So it's one thing to take a look back at it and say, hey, you know what? I felt like I wasted time, and to realize, you really haven't. That's really what the last episode was about. This episode is about, hey, you have the time, right? You realize you got the time, but do you have enough time to get it done? Now, granted, you only have 24 hours in a day, so it's not like you can buy more time. It's not like you can make it somewhere. Like people say, you can't, make money out of trees. So how do you make sure that you are managing this time as wisely as possible? One of the things I learned in the class, which I just mentioned, which is being proactive, not waiting until the last minute, being able to set your calendar up in a way that you are reaching little milestones, if you will. So just like in class, are you saying, all right, today homework is due, and then these are the times that I'm going to take to study for my test by Friday? So let's say, for an example, homework is due Thursday, but you already had the homework for a couple days. You get your homework every Thursday. Are you getting it done by Monday? So that way your study time for your test on Friday, you have enough time. Those type of things. Are you managing that well? Are you planning out your calendar well? And not to the point where you have something going on every moment, every second of the day, because sometimes you do need to take a break. Let your mind calm down no matter what the situation is. I found myself recently where, after 8 o'clock, I'm really, really been working on not watching TV, taking in any type of content after 8 o'clock. Really, it's been about 7, but I've been really pressing 8 o'clock and making sure, even with that, I am drinking a bunch of water to make sure that I'm hydrated, that I am doing well, even though I drink a lot of water during the day, but I'm really focusing on that 7, 8 o'clock hour to make sure that I have a nice sleep. I'm well rested, and that I can get up in the morning refreshed and ready to move on with my day. So what kind of routine do you need to put together to move things forward, to move that needle, to put together a process where you will be successful? I know that you can. I know that you will be. Because here, that will never work. That's the idea that, giving up, doing excuses, of why something's not going to work. Like, we don't accept that type of thing here. That will never work. Our thought is we can get it done no matter the situation. I encourage each and every one of you today to put your schedule together in a way where you can still have fun, you could get work done, you could get adequate enough sleep and eating. Just make sure that you are managing your time in a way that is effective. Thank you very much for listening.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.